All right, let's twist it up a little bit here then. Let's switch into our second topic and start attacking the NFL draft and our first overall pick in the second round of the draft. What should the Chicago Bears be targeting at this point with the signs that we've made?
Well, the big thing for me is there's 3 choices. And the good thing is the Bears have 2 second rounders. They have the 34th, and then the 50th pick. The question is, because to me the biggest needs are interior offensive line or secondary, either cornerback or safety. What's going to be available? A lot of mock drafts have, if you're going interior guard, Natane Moody out of Fresno State, but on most big boards, he's a 40 guy. He's in like the late 40s, early 40s, so you may be reaching there. I think with the first, second rounder they have, I would look secondary. If a guy like Trevon Diggs drops, if a guy like Kristen Fulton out of LSU is there, even the safety position, Antoine Winfield Jr., if he's there, I would target that at 34, and then with my 50th overall pick.
50.
43rd? I flip them. 43rd, I look at safety and secondary. At 50, I go with the interior and go with a guard.
Sean?
I disagree with that. I think that everything that they have shown you this year shows that they're going to go in a different route. They're going out and signing interior guards. I mean, the Ifedi thing, they're looking for him to be, he could play tackle or guard. But right now, our lads has him listed as a guard. I feel like he will end up being a guard. And then you look at their guard depth. They have James Daniels, Cody Whitehair, Rashad Coward, and Jermaine Ifedi. I don't think there's a need there for interior guards. So I don't think that they're interior linemen. I think and even then, Alex Bars, like if they're interested, I think that he is a guy that can play pretty much all 5 positions on an offensive line. So he could be a guy that they could keep around too. So I don't think interior line is that big of a need. I think that what we have seen is a lack of movement in the wide receiving core, and we obviously know this is a very strong wide receiving core in this draft.
Yes.
And then I also don't think we've seen too much movement in the secondary, like you said, Ricky, so I don't think we can rule out either corner or safety. I think that there is enough in the free agent market for them to go out and get a safety, so that's the thing that's concerning me, is I think that there are better options right now for their safeties. But I do think that this could be a play where they're going to go and try to take a shot at a wide receiver. I don't think this guy's going to be a second rounder, but if he is, we're talking Falls. Denzel Mims from Baylor, he's a stud. I think he's probably the third best or second best wide receiver in this draft class, and he's consistently been in the back half of mocks. So I think Denzel Mims could absolutely be a stud coming out of Baylor. Brett Coleman did a whole mock or a whole video about him. It's so insightful, and I'm so hyped for this kid. I'm gonna root for him wherever he goes. I love Denzel Mims, and if the Bears were able to get him, that's exactly what they need. You slide Anthony Miller into the slot. I don't know if he technically is a slot guy, but he's small. He's speedy. That's what those guys are. And I'm pretty sure when I was watching him in Memphis, he was a slot guy. I mean, and then throw Mims out on the outside and have Robinson out on the outside, and there you go. You have 3 legit wide receivers right there. I would love that. That's what I would love for the 43rd overall pick. What I think is going to happen is not that. I would also love Jalen Hurts. Those are my 2 guys that I would love to see is you go out and draft a quarterback or you go out and draft a wide receiver. That's what I want at 43.
Could you bring up a great question?
Could you see them trading them? 43 and 50 to move up for a wide receiver at 32. Because I could see if you don't if Jalen Hurts is gone and you want one of those first round, because wide receiver is going to be deep in the first round.
Right. But I think the thing is, I'm not, as a Bears fan, I wouldn't feel comfortable going like a Jalen Hurts. I'm not trading up for a wide receiver in this class. Okay. As much as I love the idea of Mims, also the Mims-Wims combo would be fantastic on the outside. I'm just saying. I would not trade up for him. I think he's talented. I think he's going to be good, but I'm not trading up 2 second-round picks on a team with the holes we have. We need to hit on both of these unless we're not nailing in that quarterback in Jalen Hurts. That's my opinion. Sean, would you trade up? I got to fix this light. It's just going to keep strobing at me. Be right back.
Wait, what is it? Trade up? Is that the question,
I
Ricky?
think so. Yeah. Would you trade up for a wide receiver?
No, I'm not. I'm not trading up. I mean, this is a deep wide receiver class. I love Mims, but again, I watched a video on him, and now I think I'm a Denzel Mims expert. But no, I think that everything that we've been hearing is that this is such a deep wide receiver class, and that just tells me that at some point somebody's going to have to fall. Somebody's not that high on some draft class, and I think there's probably 8 wide receivers that are first round talents, and at some point there's not going to be needs for wide receivers. So somebody's going to fall to you at 43. It might not be my guy in Denzel Mims, but it might be a guy that can fall to you. And I think that's where we were looking at. You're looking at secondary and you're looking at wide receiver at these spots. They went out and re-signed Tyler Bray. They have Nick Foles. They have Mitch Trubisky. As much as I would love to see, a quarterback here, I don't think it's going to happen. They've made moves to address the interior line. Maybe they make a move to address the exterior in the tackle positions, which could happen. They have 9 tight ends, so that's not fucking happening. They have Cohen and Montgomery, so I doubt that they're going to draft a running back, especially after they just used a third on Montgomery. The defensive line is set. The front 7's set. You're not touching that unless you want to take a guy that has potential in the second round. But last time we did that was Adam Shaheen. So then it really just leads to the secondary and wide receiver. So I don't think you still need to fill 2 spots. So trading up, I think, would be stupid. And you still need to get depth on this team. So giving up draft picks would be absolutely stupid. The Bears are not in that spot.
No, I feel like if anything, we're trading back from one of our second rounders. Yeah. And try and pick up, a 4 or a 5 or something like that.
Which one do you think is
later picks?
Which one's more tradable? The 43
has more value,
or 50?
I think it's going to depend on who's on the board left. Like, if you see someone slide down that board who, like, another team's eyeing, if you can, try to leverage that.
Yeah.
And, somebody with, like, end of the first round grade somehow slides down there, like an AJ Terrell or T. Higgins, something, in one of those guys who you feel really should be a first rounder. Like, hey, I'll listen to offers. I'll absolutely move back because, like, either one of those would fit, wide receiver or corner, which Bears could use. I don't know if they graded them the same way. So if they're like, hey, if we can get, if we're moving back from the second round to get like a 3 and a 6 or something, pull the trigger, I guess.
Because I mean, right now the rest of the draft, you've got 2 7s, 2 6, and a 5th. So it's second, and then not picking until day 3. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to possibly add a 3rd and a 6th. Like, I don't know what the price is for that 50th, but if we're able to get like an early 3rd and add a 6th round pick, I wouldn't hate that. If Ryan Pace wants to move back, and even if it's with the 43rd, if you think you can get a wide receiver or the secondary guy at 50, and then you want to go after, get 2 picks in this draft, I would love that. You need to get depth though. So that's the issue with trading back is you can't get a pick this year and a future, or you can't get 2 futures. You need to get picks for this year because every move that you've shown defensively is that this is a team that's going to compete this year, even offensively with the Nick Foles thing. Like you are looking to compete this year, and if you're going to do that, you're going to need backup plans and contingency plans for these players. Especially when we saw last year, people got injured like left and right, so you're going to need contingency plans for these injuries.
Yeah,
and I think that's the biggest thing with the Bears is you need to at least stockpile picks if you are going to trade back for this year, for this draft class, so you can fill out your roster.
And I know that it's not, I mean, it's right in the middle of where the Bears 2 picks are. But the Colts had the 46th last year, and they traded it for a 2nd, which was 3 picks later, and a 5th.
Oh,
so
okay,
I could see. So if they got a 2nd and a 5th, I don't see why at the 50 a 3rd and a 6th. Like that would be undervalued, but I don't see how that wouldn't happen.
Again, I'm just throwing it out there. Like if it's a 3rd and 5th, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out there. Like
I was just looking to see, like, hey, have we seen this before, and what value have other teams gotten for it?
Yeah. I would rather see the 50th go though. I would rather them part with the 50th, keep the 43rd, and then attack some of the positions of need here.
I agree. So basically, this pick is all down to the fact that I think. All right, let's put it this way: if there's a certain quarterback on the board named Jalen Hurts at 43, are we taking him regardless?
Yes, I would.
My strategy would be take Hurts at 43, and then here I got 2 things: take Hurts at 43.
I'm trying to big board it here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If Hurts is on the board,
Yep.
at 43, I'm either trading back and moving up to get a team that wants it, because if a team has Hurts and they're willing to trade up, I feel like they're going to give up more than they should, right?
I mean, quarterback, makes sense.
If you don't think Hurts is going to be a guy that fits for you, or you don't like Hurts, I disagree. I think Hurts is I think he's probably the third best quarterback in this draft, but
Burrows.
Fourth. Burrow, Tua, Herbert, and then Hurts. I think he's the fourth best quarterback. I think that you could definitely see a team wanting to trade up and getting Hurts, and if that's an option, I would do that. If you don't think he's the guy. However, if he is available, I think I take him, because then you have Foles. If Foles performs well, you have Foles on the roster next year. You decline Mitch's 5th year, and then you have Hurts for 2 years then under Foles, and then you could address that. But there's no way I'm not taking him. But if I am taking Hurts, then I'm not trading that 50th. I want to draft Hurts at the 43rd, and then if I take him at the 43rd, I do want to take that 50th. And whether that be addressing the secondary, whether that be addressing the tackles, whether that be addressing the wide receiving core, if I'm taking Jalen Hurts in my 43rd, I do want another second rounder with it.
Interesting.
But
Ricky,
if Hurts is on the board and I don't want him, I'm trading that pick and letting someone else take Hurts at 43.
Okay.
Yeah, the interesting thing for me is I'm looking at other mock drafts. And one thing that, I'm going to say is interesting is that it looks like in most of them, there's a wide receiver in Cnault Jr. He's the one out of Colorado. Fallen quite a bit. I'm seeing him in second rounds. So to me, that would be like, if he's in the second round, I would maybe take him at 43, but I'm seeing a lot of Jalen Hurts in the second round. So for me, it'd be no question. If Jalen Hurts is there at 43, I'm the famous Ricky Widmer quote, I'm running that ticket up to the podium quicker than you can say ham sandwich. Because I really sandwich. I feel like I'm physically not, but the runner is. I'm taking him because to me, he is going to be, out of all the quarterbacks, there is a potential for me for 3 stars in this draft. One's Joe Burrow, one's Tua. We know those two. The third one is Jalen Hurts. He is going to be the one we look at and go, Herbert's good, but Herbert to me, I wouldn't be surprised if he either has one of 2 career paths. Herbert's either going to be a Phillip Rivers type, we're very successful, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, successful, but the team didn't do enough around him, or he's going to be Cam Newton, where the only thing I worry about with Herbert is if he becomes a runner, injury.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch his film, he runs just like Cam Newton. He runs just like him.
That's fair, but you're comparing him to a Super Bowl champion, an NFL MVP, and a Hall of Famer. And Cam Newton would be a Hall of Famer.
So, 4. I'll add Herbert in. Herbert's going to be damn good.
If the Bears want to draft Justin Herbert, I guess I'll be happy.
They would have to trade up a lot for that.
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't understand why Hurts is not a first rounder. That's the thing.
Me neither.
I've seen him mocked as low as the 3rd.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
It's asinine.
It's asinine. What I saw in the combine, what I see from his he's got everything. He's smart.
It's the growth in the game too.
He's got an arm. I think the kid wants it.
Yeah,
I do. And I don't know that much. I don't know enough about Jordan Love to say, he doesn't want it or anything like that. But I do think that you look at Hurts, and Hurts has that production in big time football games. Big 12, SEC, Alabama, Oklahoma, bowl games, whatever the fuck you want. Outside of the one game against Georgia. Yeah, outside of the one game against Georgia where Tua came in and threw that one pass. That's it.
Yeah, I get you.
I've seen enough from Hurts. That guy's a first rounder in my mind. If he was at 43, I'd take him.
All right. As far as attacking the secondary, is there a... I know it's more the 50 pick, but I've seen Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, you dropped out for a big chunk.
Oh no!
So I didn't hear your question.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. I love you. I love you, Discord too. So with the second round in the secondary, are there any names that stand out to you? I know one of the names, I'm probably closer to the 50th overall, but Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. I think he is. I'm not sure how he's related, but I know he's related to Stephon Diggs.
Brothers.
Brother. Okay, great. Even better. I know he is a senior. I know he is long. I know he's got a great wingspan. I know he was a injured player in, I think, 2018. Yeah, 2018. But like, I'm seeing a lot of upside in him, and he seems like a smart cover. Like, I don't know. Am I wrong to lock myself?
I don't.
And comparing him to his brother, real quick. I mean, Stephon was a guy that was absolutely slept on out of Maryland. I think he went 5th round, Ricky, if you can correct me. I think he was 3rd to 5th. But Stephon was a guy that was slept on. He wasn't a guy that stood off and jumped off of pages and stuff like that. Like, he wasn't a guy that was looked on heavily to turn him into what he did. And he's still 5th round. Yeah, I mean, he was a guy that was massively athletic. He's still, I mean, you look at his tape, and he should have been a 2nd rounder. So I could absolutely see what you're talking about with that untapped potential in Diggs.
See, I just don't think he gets. I just don't think he falls out of the 1st round for me. Like,
you've got him marked as 1st round.
I still have him marked as 1st round.
Okay.
For me, it's going to be interesting to see now that the Vikings have 2 1st round picks.
Yeah.
Like, that is number one that I think will be totally like ironic. Is it's like, hey, we traded your brother. We drafted you.
I don't know if they could do that.
Like, because they're a team that needed secondary help.
They do.
You've got the Eagles need secondary help. The Jaguars need secondary help. There's so many teams late in that draft that could go secondary. 49ers could do it as well. The only question is going to be whether they value safety over corner in those situations.
Right.
And I think if Diggs is going to go to the Bears, you're going to need to use 43 on it. So, like, the question is then, if Hurts is available, do you go with the secondary, which would be the bigger need, and hope that Hurts is still there at 50?
No.
It would be that, I think, would be then the debate.
There's enough players in the secondary. There's enough players in free agency that you could find to fill out those spots. We're talking about a second corner here because Kyle Fuller is already there, and then a starting strong safety. I don't know if I absolutely love the idea of a safety being drafted and starting right away, but then again, Adrian Amos did it, and he was a 5th rounder. So I'm not going to be like, oh, the secondary is that big of a need, we're going to pass on Jalen fucking Hurts. So if Hurts is available, I'm taking him at 43.
Yeah, but after that, that's what I'm saying. After say he's not there, like as far as your big boy.
I know, but Ricky just said that he would wait to draft Hurts to 50, so I'm yelling at him.
No. I was asking the question. I would take Hurts at 43. Yeah. I love Jalen Hurts. Also, can I make one quick aside really quick? Because I'm looking at Tankathon.
Yeah.
The Rams logo sucks. Like, I was looking, I was like, what fucking college is that? And I clicked on it, I was like, the one with like the Rams skull facing down. It's like, it looks like it was made by a 3-year-old. I'm sorry.
I'm not horribly opposed to it.
It was really like, I'm looking at it where I'm like, huh, what logo is that? And I was confused and forgot that they changed their logo.
Clearly, this needs to spur it off into which team had the best rebranding effort. You know, with their logo, their mascot. I mean, there's not a lot of good ones out there.
What are the options?
Yeah,
that's the problem. Like the Lions, the lion got slightly more fierce. I think
they just added white lines,
and it made it look cooler. Yeah. It made it look cooler.
The Dolphins.
I think
the Dolphins.
Like, at least here, real quick. Like, let's just go back to the.
Jaguars.
Yeah, like I don't think that. I personally, what I would do is
Bucks one.
Hurts at 43. I'm ignoring you. They're rebranding anyway. They're rebranding in April. 43, I'd take Hurts. And then 50, I would take wide receiver. And then if not, I'd take wide receiver at 43. And then a tackle at 50. And then I'd wait on a cornerback. Like if who's the kid from LSU, the corner?
Fulton.
Yes,
Christian
if he's
Fulton.
available, then I'd take him. If not, I'm fine with waiting. Like the biggest need on this team right now, secondary wise, is strong safety, and I think you can just take J.R. Reed from Georgia, strong safety, reliable, knows how to tackle. That's what you need. It's literally all you need against Eddie Jackson. You could put a former linebacker at safety. It would work. Like that, you don't need to overthink this safety position. And I think you can get him in the fourth round or the fifth round. Because
we don't got a fourth, so I hope you can give him in fifth.
So yeah, I think you can get him in the fifth round. I think he might still be around. So I think you could do that. I truly do. I think that the three options that you could do are Hurts and a wide receiver and a tackle, or Hurts or a wide receiver and then trade back that 50 and then take a safety in the third round like J.R. Reed.
All right, Ricky, what will your final rankings be for how you're going to draft?
So what I would do is if Hurts is there at 43, I take him. If not, I go with safety or corner, just BPA. At 50, maybe wide receiver, but the thing I wanted to add about wide receivers is the guy I would target, and you would need to maybe trade the 50 to get a fourth rounder to get him, because I don't know if he'll fall to the fifth. But I absolutely love Donovan Peoples-Jones out of Michigan. Like, this kid is, like, he's 6'2", so he's the same height as Allen Robinson, but he's big and has a big enough frame to impose himself on corners. And, when I see something where he was averaging 1 touchdown per every 6 catches, he's a guy that I think that can develop into a number 2 if you don't think that Anthony Miller is going to develop into the number 2 next to Allen Robinson.
And the thing, too, with Peoples-Jones, he doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, he didn't have a quarterback.
So I don't hate it. The one thing that kind of worries me, though, is, like, when you have that skill set and you have all of those, measurables and all the stats, like, he hasn't been talked about that much. I feel like in this draft process, and that's a little bit of a worry.
I think it's because of how stacked the wide receiver position is. Yeah, he's not spectacular, but he's reliable.
And I think for that, though, I mean, I don't know if he's the guy in the second round for them. I don't know.
All right.
No, definitely not in the second. It would have to be fourth.
6'2", 448, and I'll take it. And a 44 vert, those are nice numbers.
Yeah.
He ain't bad. He's not a slacker. I
hope he's not a slacker.
I think that's where we'll wrap this segment up. Let me know what you guys think the Bears should do with the 43rd pick and the 50th pick, if we should be focused in on that Jalen Hurts or bust route, or if you think, we could just add some nice pieces in the secondary, wide receiver or offensive line, and keep building this team up slow.